going on, everybody? Welcome. Welcome. Tusk Talk with Ty. It is what used to be known as the pregame show on Fridays. We've moved these to Thursday nights. It just works out so much better. All right. Gives these lives a little bit of time to marinate for a day. Instead of just giving you a video on Friday or Friday night, and then the video only has a little bit of time on Saturday to really reach you. Now you get it on Thursday night, and then you got all day Friday to watch. We do have trying to get all the shares out. Make sure you guys like, share, and if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Speaking of sharing, my goodness, there we go. Look at you guys already sharing that tweet twice. Look at that. You guys are rock stars. I have something really cool to show you. Now, let's just get started with that. Straight to business. If you want to guess what it is, it does pertain to the post-game show. There's a certain little ceremony that takes place. If Arkansas wins. What happens? We reward the player of the game that gold chain right there. This gold chain. Oh, God, it's so heavy. This is what we do. And I wear it on that player's behalf, that Arkansas Razorback player's behalf. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks to Direct Service Overhead, our sponsor, we have upgraded. We've gone from this. Oh, I wish I could zoom out. To this. Oh, baby. Oh, get a look at that. Oh, my God. That's right. Oh, my God. We've got it right here. Look at this bad boy. Shout out to Travis Ford. I'm going to knock my shades off. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. DSO. Look. Oh, it's so wonderful. Player of the game. The gold chain brought to you by Tusk Talk with Ty and Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. That is fantastic, and it's heavy. Okay, listen. I mean, bro, this really will shake. It's heavy. It's like 5-6 pounds. It keeps knocking off my shades. Oh, man, I can't even. Oh, man, I'm going to break my sunglasses. There we go. Oh, baby. There we go. Can we zoom out? Tell me that's not dope. Tell me that's not awesome. That will be given, or I will wear it on behalf. I'm going to tell you something. It is heavy. I'm going to wear it on, if Arkansas wins on Saturday night, I'm going to wear this on their behalf. So again, shout out to this show's sponsor, Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company, offering same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results. Give them a call at 501-244-3667. I'm going to have to get used to wearing it. I mean, it is heavy, man. Again, that's 501-244-3667. They operate out of Central Arkansas and in Northwest Arkansas. Man, oh, man. Your neck going to cramp up. Bro, I mean, it's – this ain't no joke. That's for real. That's how we roll around these parts. And see, I'm going to make sure I'm going to take my shades off. One last look. Oh, that's vicious. That is vicious. Golly. I'm not even sure where to put this thing now. You hear the chain? I mean, golly. We're just going to have to put it back here. Oh. Golly. All right. There you go, baby. We're legit around here. That's how we roll. Again, shout out to Travis Ford. You know what? I'll wear this, though. I will wear this. Definitely not plastic. Definitely not 5 pounds. All right. Sup, bling bling. What's going on, Ty Brandon? How you doing? Again, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. As you know, and I've been told I shouldn't talk about it, but I'm going to anyways because I don't care. YouTube, while I'm grateful, as someone pointed out to me that I should be a little while back, I am grateful that YouTube does platform me because they platform any schmuck with a camera and a microphone. They do make it difficult when you don't play by their rules to boost your content. They won't do it. They just won't do it. If you don't play by their rules. By the way, my intro has now been hit with a copyright strike. Or I say copyright strike. It's a copyright or a we're not going to pay you for the video kind of claim because it's Radiohead creep. But it's like it's someone else playing it, whatever. It's more like a cover. I kind of figured that would happen anyways. I wasn't really worried about it. I just really like that song. So there's another thing that they're just not going to push. They're not going to push Tusk Talk with Ty. So it's up to you guys, right? Sharing is caring, right? Join Patreon. Help subscribe or help get those numbers up. We have another update involving Patreon. I know we're going to get to the actual, I know someone's going to bitch and moan about it. I know they are. They're going to complain and cry. Just get to the Razorback stuff. Just hold on. All right. We operate like a live show. And I think it's important that I tell you guys this stuff because I want you to know what's going on. If you are considering joining Tusk Talk with Ty Patreon or you share the Patreon link to your friends or whatever, if they use Apple, avoid using Apple. Apple has now put Patreon onto I can open up the email and just tell you what it says exactly. This is important for some of you because I do get messages from you guys talking about sharing the link and how do you do that and what all blah, blah, blah. So Apple is requiring Patreon to move over to Apple's in-app purchase system in order for the Patreon app to remain available in the App Store. I've got to take action in the switch to their billing cycle November 1st. If you know anybody, this does not pertain to current members, only to new people that join. Make sure you join through Safari on your Apple device or Google Chrome, whatever you use as a search engine. Do not purchase your subscription and tell your friends if you have an Apple device, don't, because it's going to cost for every one of you, won't cost you anything extra, but they hit that subscriber amount for 30%. For 30%. So that sucks. It's going to suck for me. This is going to be something I'm going to have to deal with. Hopefully it doesn't impact me too much. Again, it's for new folks. The way I understand it is it's not for the current. If you're already a Patreon member and you have an Apple phone and you're doing all that, I don't think it affects you. Shouldn't affect you. So just a heads up. All right. Okay. So again, do not use, and that goes for any Patreon that you go through, right? If you support another channel, like I'm probably going to join Film Threat, one of my favorite film critic review YouTube channels. Highly recommend them, by the way. I love those guys. They call out the bullshit in Hollywood, and they give fair and honest reviews. They'll review just about anything. They reviewed Am I Racist? If you don't know anything about that movie, they reviewed it. They're like one of the few legit critics that'll do that. I want to join their Patreon and support them. So I'll make sure when I do that I don't go through my iPhone because Apple's a bunch of, well, again, they just want to charge 30%. Okay. We got all that stuff out of the way. Again, shout out to Patreon supporters, new and old. I appreciate you guys. Your neck going to crank. I already read that. Yep. You're wrong. You're not wrong, July. We have a poll up. Hogs cover the 13.5 point spread versus Tenor. This is a very interesting poll so far. 52% of you say no. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see. We'll see where that poll ends up. You think we can shock the world and beat Tennessee? We're going to get to that. As you can see on the screen, that'll be the last thing we talk about. And I got a lot to say. about Arkansas. I think there's going to be some stuff that might surprise you a little bit if you haven't done any research on Tennessee. Hey, Ty, Arizona Tim will be pulling for the Hogs from Kona, Hawaii. Go Hogs. All right, man. Mike and them says, slobbering hog, baby. July, his name isn't Ty, it's Gator. Okay. Ty Dalla, what's up? Ty Brennan, how you doing, man? Mr. Ty. Ty, you should connect both those chains together and make it a big chain. Well, the problem is this chain probably wouldn't support it. I'll say that. Travis asked me what we should put on the front, like if we should do the red eyes, but everything else is Travis. By the way, we might have some news about what they're up to, about Travis and Tim Neal. They've got an SEC show they're putting together, and I will have them on. You know I will. I can't wait. It'll be a lot of fun. Ty Hudson, clever. Ty, do you think this will be the game that all the Singleton fans finally get to see him? I have no way of knowing. I really don't know. I really honestly don't know. Ty, let's see. Ty, I'm going to meet the guys at Crane and Company this weekend. I think I could get – let's see. I think I could get you on their show if you don't mind my asking. What is Crane and Company? Wait, isn't that the isn't that like a – what is Crane – what is that? What is Crane and Company? I mean, no disrespect. I honestly don't know who that is. It's a business, is it not? Like a – I've heard that name before. Is that not a hold on. Is that not like an auto sales? Oh, I'm thinking of Crane Buick. What is Crane and Company? There's a brewery. Oh, you know what? My VPN's showing me I'll have to look at that later. You'll have to fill me in. I don't know what that is. They're a sports show, LOL. I mean, listen, a lot of businesses are starting to do, they're starting to do their own podcast. That's becoming like everyone has a podcast about something, and it's great. It's truly awesome. By the way, oh man, we got more news. Hold on. I'm going to get some hateful comments on this show. I know I am. Someone's going to get pissed. Our Tusk Talk with Ty, by the way, has been nominated for 2 Arcast Awards, which is it's a podcast. It's an Arkansas podcast. I guess it's like a festival. I've heard of them before, but I've been nominated for 2 different categories. I'm going to share you the link. Do me a favor. That's a pretty big. There you go. Do me a favor. Scroll down there and look under Best Sports Podcast. I'm there. And then there's a Best Male Host. I mean, there's so many categories. Best Male Host, I'm also there. So, yeah, your boy nominated. I think this is Tim Neal's. I think he signed me up for this. I don't know. But I appreciate the hell out of that. So if you guys want to go in and vote for your boy in those 2 categories, again, it's Best Sports Host and then Best Male Host. So you got to scroll down. If you're on your phone, it might take you a little bit. And you got to make sure you fill in like your name and your email address at the top, which is all they ask for. And then at the very bottom, make sure you click submit. There you go. All right. Yo, what's up, John? How you doing, man? It's Jake Crane. Oh, Jake Crane. Okay. Yeah. I know those. Yeah. They work for Daily Wire, right? That's right. I don't know. I was having such a it's been a day. You're right. I know who they are. I don't know why that slipped my mind. I know who they are. Yeah. They're part of the Daily Wire. They're part of that group, right? Ben Shapiro and the guy that did the Am I Racist movie. He also did another one. I'm not going to we're going to steer away from the politics. But, yeah, all right, okay. I apologize to anyone who came in here and they're mad that I'm not straight into the sports. Let's get into it. We had a lot to discuss. I actually forgot about the poll about the RCast. All right. Oh, we got a lot to cover here. Scrolling up. Well, okay. We got the post-game. Slobbering Hog. Let's go there. Slobbering Hog. Hunter Yurchek has promised the return of the Slobbering Hog logo to midcourt at Bud Walton Arena if Arkansas fans can reach an NIL milestone by Monday evening. Arkansas fans have 4 days now to get to that name, image, and likeness goal that will result in the Slobbering Hogs logo to the midcourt at Bud Walton Arena for the 24-25 season, which is strange that it's worded that way. Hunter Yurchek tweeted, I'll put the tweet up on the screen for you. Right there it is. He tweeted, hearing some chatter on the Slobbering Hog. I'll make you a deal. I just received a matching gift offer of $500,000 if we can raise and add $500,000 for Arkansas Edge NIL before 5 p.m. on October 7th, which is Monday. We will put the beloved Slobbering Hog logo at midcourt in Bud Walton Arena. Do I have to say it? They're already doing it. That's what they're doing. They've already stripped the floor. Why? I mean, listen, man, again, Hunter Yurchek's job has got to be insane, especially with this NIL stuff and making sure, you're following all the rules and all this stuff and keeping up with all the different programs on campus and all the different sports and keeping everybody happy. I can't imagine what his emails look like. His inbox is probably wild from fans. Does this just not feel like, dude, you've already stripped the damn floor. We know it's already a done deal. Come on, Hunter. What? You won't believe it, but we might actually put the Slobbering Hog back on the floor. By the way, should have done this during the Musselman era. Can you imagine being as relevant as Arkansas was and then seeing that gorgeous Slobbering Hog at midcourt, back where it belongs? Watch it be a prank and they put the forward-facing hog. Oh, God. Oh. Whew. Have you played EA College Football 2.5? And when you play as Arkansas, everyone in the crowd is wearing, they've got the forward-facing hog. Someone didn't send an email to EA. Bro, this is not 2015. I'm not going to lie, it triggers me. It triggers me every time. So, yeah, just got to match $500,000 by Monday, which also tells me they probably feel pretty good they're going to do that. I know Justin Long is holding a concert. Is that his name? No, Moore. Justin Moore. I'm sorry. I don't listen to country, guys. I apologize. I know someone's going to get mad about that. I don't listen to country. But Justin Moore, Arkansas native, he's from like Rogers, right? Someone told me he actually went to my high school for a year. I don't know if that's true or not. Appreciate you, July, for retweeting. I went to West Campus High School in Fayetteville, which is anyone from any other district could go to as long as you wanted to go there for like vocational, right? Like welding, auto body, and stuff like that. Someone told me he actually went to West for like a semester. And I think he's about my age. I don't know if that's true. You know how that goes. People just say crazy stuff. I'd love to bring him on and interview him, talk about his love for the Hogs and kind of what his thoughts are. But he's putting some money in tonight from his concert. I guess all that money he makes tonight is going to go towards the Arkansas Edge. So I don't know what that looks like, what kind of money he might make. And it's at the AMP. So I don't know. This all feels like it's conveniently, which is great. Listen, that's as long as NIL's getting some love. I've kind of made up my mind on the NIL stuff. I'm seeing people bitch and moan. This David Martz guy. I don't know much about David Martz. Maybe he's a good guy. I don't know. Sometimes they bring him up in Discord and some people hate him. Some people love him. I don't even know who he is. I don't know if he's like a student, but he was complaining today about the Sam Pittman. This is from Bryce Spence on Twitter, and he retweeted this guy. Sam Pittman lives in a mansion with a fountain out front, and you're asking regular Arkansans to donate to an NIL fund. Bro, STFU. By the way, it's like $31,000. Don't give any money. Don't give any money. I don't understand, like, what are you complaining about? Don't give any money. Like, I understand, and maybe the way Hunter Yurchek kind of presented, the NIL stuff down in Little Rock, it may not have been the best. It might not have been the best way, and it did kind of come off like, it came off a little not great to some Hog fans, and I get it. I listened to it once or twice. I think we talked about it here on the live. But don't donate then. Don't give any money. Don't worry about it. Let the people who can, let them do it if they want to support the Razorbacks. And someone made a really good point. And I don't know where I saw this at. I think I read someone's reply on Twitter. Or it might have been in a group chat that I'm in. But if you think about it, for people who are upset about Hunter Yurchek asking for NIL money, and if the NIL is not attractive, and you also want Sam Pittman fired, and to me, this is bottom line why I'm eye-rolling at this complaint about Arkansas being a poor state. You know how poor Mississippi is? And look at Oxford's NIL. There are several states in the South that are not well off, and yet their NIL is doing pretty good. Now, how we confirm that exactly, I don't know, but we know one thing: Ole Miss slayed in the portal. They are killing it in recruiting. Oh, but you're asking for poor people. No, we're just asking for anybody that wants to give $1 to the Edge to do it. If you want another coach, if you want Sam gone, do you think that having the current NIL situation that we have is going to be very attractive? People are talking about Rhett Lashley. Do you have any idea what SMU got in trouble for? The Pony Express back in the 1980s. Arguably one of the greatest backfields in college football history. Of course, we know one of them went on to be great for my Rams. Of course, that was before I was actually a Ram fan. That was when they were still in L.A. before they went to St. Louis. But, yeah, they got money. They got that oil money down there. They got NIL. You wonder why that USC basketball coach, who was kind of getting ran off at the same time, but he went to SMU. There were rumors about Musselman going there, which were never true, but the only reason why anybody entertained the idea is because of their NIL. Rhett Lashley at SMU might actually be pretty difficult to pull out, no matter how good or bad they are this year. I said they'd go 8-4 their first year in their new big conference. If you truly want to make a difference in terms of what you can do out of your own wallet, give to the Edge. Help build Arkansas Edge. I'm over it now. I've made up my mind. I get that this is a really difficult ask for Arkansans. We're living in rough times. Inflation's insane. Everyone wants a damn tip for, I don't know. I'm just waiting until Walmart starts asking for tips at the cash register. Hey, we actually have a human operating as a cashier. Give them a tip. Like, good Lord, man. Everybody wants you to tip them left and right. Inflation's insane. We have all this crazy stuff going on. And then you're asking for NIL. I get that. And I get why that might be a little much for some folks. But if you don't plan on giving money, then don't give any money. But don't bitch and complain about your attractiveness to other coaches when you're not giving any money. We know for a fact that this is something that coaches are going to look at. How's their NIL and what's their history like in the portal? If you want to get better, you got to donate. You just do. I've made up my mind. I've been thinking about this more and more, and reading some of these comments have changed my mind. I was skeptical the way Hunter complained about it. And yes, the product on the field, it pisses people off. They don't want to give any money. Why would you give money to a losing? I get that. But if you want Sam gone, I think I would give some money to NIL. Or let's say if you believe, maybe you don't want him gone, but you know he's going to end up getting canned, that NIL needs to be stout. 100%. It needs to be stout, and it's not. So I hope this works for Edge. I hope that they do it and it benefits, NIL and all that. $10 super chat From John Haas. There's 3 million people in Arkansas. If everyone chipped in $5 in a whole year, you would have 15 mil. Do that monthly. They act like you're asking for a whole paycheck. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the math. John, you're smarter than I am, I'm pretty sure. I guess that checks out, but I know, yeah, you've got a little more than 3 million people. Northwest Arkansas is growing. I think it's high time to, again, if you're concerned, if you again, maybe you don't want Sam gone, but you know it's probably going to happen. I still believe that number's 5. Some people disagree on that. I've also got a theory on that too. I don't know if I'm going to talk about it on this live show or not. Again, something another person and I were talking about. This is someone I talk with often about this subject, and he's a plugged-in individual, and he not that he knows what's going on at the U of A, but this is something that I might discuss. I don't know. Maybe we'll do it in the Discord chat. I don't know if I sometimes save the juicy stuff, you know what I mean? Like ideas, right? Like the interim head coach idea that I have. Some of you know what that's about, and you know that because what? You're in the Discord live. I won't say that here, but I think the chat's we've already kind of hinted at it when we had Courtney on. But anyways, long story short, donate. If you're concerned 5 wins is all he gets or that's his limit, and they're going to fire him, where you're going to want NIL to be in good shape. I thank you, John, for the super chat, man. I appreciate that. I was at the movies, and they're now asking for tips at the concession stand. Isn't it nuts? And then you got some fat guy on YouTube telling you to join his Patreon. You know, God, son of a bitch. That's son of a bitch. God, I hope I get to wear this thing on Saturday night. Arky56, Dad, you said something, then you deleted the text. I hope one of my mods didn't delete. I'm sure they didn't. Every income tax season. Bonus season, too. I know there's several companies. October, November is bonus season. What about hosting watch parties during away games and after parties? In the stadiums. Why not use Bud Walton Arena? I mean, I know you got to pay, people to clean it up and everything. Maybe there's a cost factor there that I'm unaware of. But I've always wondered that. Like, why not use the stadium? Like, you had Garth Brooks. You had Garth Brooks inside the football stadium. You've done stuff inside BWA. That track facility is awfully damn nice. Have you guys seen the track field? It's nice. It's probably one of the nicest ones in the country, as it should be. Jeremiah says Arkansas can win this game. We're about there. We're getting there. We had a lot. And again, I know someone's going to be unhappy that it took me a little while to get going on this one, but we had a lot to discuss. I thought about doing it at the end, but I think it's better to start off with. So, Arkansas, to wrap up the NIL talk, Arkansas Edge tweeted out earlier. I don't know what the time was, but it was after Hunter Yurchek posted. Wow, thank you to everyone who's rallied behind us to help bring back the Slobbering Hog. We are nearing 100,000 in contributions since yesterday. Let's keep the momentum going. So 100,000 in what, 24 hours? Again, it kind of tells me that I feel like some of this was planned out. I mean, I don't think they believe we're all dumb, but this is already done. They've already got the Slobbering Hog. I hope it's permanent. Just like Nolan's name being on the court, I hope it's for a very long, long time. I guess I can pull Hunter's tweet down. We'll get that off the air here. Let me read some more comments. Babies, kids, and everybody, $5, Steven. But something what he's saying. Put a QR code on the field, says Ty Brennan. Ty, do you work in marketing, man? Did you just join as a member? I saw we got a member that just joined. Let me scroll up. Ah, you did. Look at you. Appreciate that. Curtis Johnson says Android is superior to Apple. If you say so, I like mine. I will never, ever go back to an Android, ever. I love my Apple. But they are some a-holes. Used to do the John Boy show. Yeah, the Slobbering Hog is so tough. I agree. They will do Slobbering Hog. Yeah. I'm trying to read these. Ty, good evening. What's up, Unbiased Brim? I hope you're still in here, man. Sorry, it's taking me a little bit to get up here and read all these. The Slobbering Hog return being at the same time as Coach Cal coming is a sign of a championship to come, says Heartbroken Hog. Okay, Morris from Poyen. Okay, Joe Nichols. Maybe Joe Nichols is the one that supposedly went to my. Is someone like that, a big star. He's on the buzz here in Central Arkansas. Yeah. I know who he is. I just don't say that name. Ty Kerper, who are you talking about? Martz is an idiot and a half. Listen, I don't follow him on Twitter, but to complain about that while other states are doing just fine in their NIL is bizarre. They're not telling everybody, listen, we're going to write it into law and we're just going to force you. Not yet, anyways. I mean, U of A and Little Rock are pretty tight, which scares the hell out of me. Dave Martz is a young, dumb, passionate Hog fan. I don't want to run the kid over. I don't know who he is. I don't want to run him over. I've seen him on Twitter a little bit. He's, I mean, I have nothing against him, but that to complain and to go ape shit over this NIL stuff is just, to me, it's like, man, again, if I don't want to beat the fart out of a dead horse, but if Sam is gone, you need every weapon in your arsenal available. And that, listen, you're already up against it recruiting. Arkansas, the 2026 class, I think is going to be pretty deep for Arkansas by Arkansas standards. It's going to be pretty good. Top heavy as usual, but there's some meat in there on that plate. There is. This 2026 class is going to be something pretty cool. But you don't have fertile recruiting grounds. You don't have quite the regional or you don't have the influence you once had, right? When you had it under Bobby Petrino and maybe for a short while under Brett. Remember, Brett was able to walk into Florida and grab some big-time players out of the state of Florida, Alex Collins and Denver Kirkland and so on and so forth. You don't have that kind of power anymore like you did recruiting-wise. Things have changed, of course, with the portal. So you need every weapon in your arsenal, and you need to beef up the NIL. And to be honest with you, it's crazy to me that Ole Miss and these other states in the South or these other schools in the South are doing so well on their NIL. They've got competition that's actually closer to them when you're talking schools, right? When you're talking about just relative distance between each other. And Arkansas's kind of by themselves for the most part. I mean, I know Oklahoma State and Oklahoma aren't that far. But, Columbia, Missouri is not – I mean – oh, well, I guess that is a little bit of a trip. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like Arkansas is kind of off on their own, and yet these other schools that have direct competition with one another, and they're doing as well as they are in the NIL. I don't know. It's kind of crazy to me. Again, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Hey, Hog Wild Niner guy, appreciate the retweet, my guy. Thank you. Yeah. The Slobbering Hog is the worst one. Well, Ty Hudson, that is incorrect. That is the best. That's the best mascot. That's the best logo. If everyone donates plasma, we can win in a few years. Yeah. All right. Well, there is that option, I suppose. All right, let's move on to some basketball cruiting really quick. 5-star guard Malik Thomas. Malik Thomas is going to be in town this weekend. It's going to be an awesome time for him to come into town. Malik is legit. If you don't know about Malik, this is a big-time player. He's a unanimous 5-star, 6'3", about 185 pounds. He plays for Overtime Elite. He got a number of schools involved, including Alabama, Auburn, Connecticut, Pitt, Arkansas. Arkansas has not been the favorite, according to On3, I don't think ever. I think they've got Pitt as the favorite. I don't know. I don't really keep up with On3 in terms of their accuracy, but that's who they say. But this is, again, you're talking about a unanimous top 12, top 11 player in the country. On3 says he's the number 2. He's number 2 shooting guard, number 2 player out of PA. He could stay home. Top 10 player in the country. ESPN has him as the 9th overall player. 247 has him as 11th. Rivals and On3 again. Well, now hold on. I guess they have an industry rank. Okay, their industry ranking is 8th, I guess. And then, Rivals is at 7th. So his highest rank is on Rivals. This is what their write-up says about Malik. He could score with the best of the top talent in the country, but he says it's his defense that separates himself from the rest of the pack. I take pride in defense. Thomas told the Pittsburgh Union progress. The more you get into the season, the harder the games become. The atmosphere becomes bigger. Everything just gets more serious, more intense. This kid, and I've heard that about him, he's just a solid defensive player. So he will be in town this weekend. On3's NIL valuation on him is $445,000. And like Courtney, when we had Courtney Mims on, she said, I don't know how well to take this. I could tell you, I have heard some of the players' NIL amounts. Now, sometimes you just don't know who to believe. But I will say, like, when it comes to football, it seems like On3 misses the mark on a lot of these players. And I mean, I'm talking about have had multiple media people confirm to me about a couple of players who've made some pretty decent dough. Some of them with the program still, some of them not. And of course, we know about the KJ Jefferson situation, right? We all know that. But according to On3, I think they're about one of the only recruiting sites that I see that do this. I think it's kind of risky to do something like this because every territory is different. Every market is different. And to say that that's just his valuation at $445. Now, he's a national player, so maybe there's some accuracy there, right? When you're talking about these guys that are more regionally known, when they're known throughout Oklahoma and Arkansas and maybe Louisiana, you're probably going to have a slightly different evaluation on that player in terms of his value. Or his NIL amount, what he's worth. So, yeah, Arkansas, according to On3, it'd be 822 miles. So of all the schools recruiting him, at least that are believed to be in his top list, Arkansas is the furthest away. I don't know how I feel about this. I've not had any updates on Malik at all. I don't know anything. Of course, after this weekend, we'll hear from him and we'll see where he's at. But Malik would be an incredible get. I could see him staying home. I mean, of course you can, right? We have a super chat. Hang on, make sure I didn't miss any. Cade, $5 super chat. Appreciate that, man. If everyone donates a kidney, your check will turn Bomb Stadium into a dome. Okay. I heard Drake goes to Cal's games. I hope he doesn't, but he's not like us, right, guys? Oh. I see what you're doing there. Slobbering Hog will not win more games. Nothing wrong with the one we got in Bud Walton Arena. I'm shocked. Pops doesn't agree. Dad, they need the Slobbering Hog back on the court. It needs to happen. It's the greatest team logo on a basketball court ever, anywhere. All right, let's break into it. I want to know. We're getting into Arkansas and Tennessee. No. Hold on. I forgot. We got to talk Tesla. I paired the two together on my script. Isaac Tesla. And I wasn't really going to hammer this point home, but I made it a separate topic. Something that stands out to me about Tesla. We've seen his one-handed grabs. We saw what he did last week when Arkansas lost to A&M. What he was able to do in that ball game. It feels like he's starting to warm up. It kind of feels, he led the team In fact, he led in total receiving yards the entire game. He had 5 grabs, 120 yards with that 75-yarder for a touchdown. That put his average at 24 yards per reception. Still think his numbers should come up, but, Andrew Armstrong had 6 grabs for 72 yards. Isaiah Centenia 6 for 27. Here's what stood out to me over the weekend, and I say weekend, really Sunday night. And I figured I would wait to really talk about it until today because it's now we're transitioning into this Tennessee game and something I would like to see. Andrew Armstrong, let's start with Andrew. He's been targeted 47 times this year. His drop number, according to PFF, is 71.4. That's good. That's good. It means he's not dropping a lot of balls. His offensive grade is 80.6. He's caught 29 of 47 targets, which puts him just south of a 62% reception percentage. Isaiah Centenia, 16 of 24 targets, making him the 3rd most targeted player. For some reason, I thought he might be second. But he has an offensive grade of 71.0, and his drop grade it's better. It's 84.7. In fact, it's the highest on this roster. Now, I could have put Tesla and Centenia, but I put Centenia on as a category because he's not targeted enough. And we talk about the tight ends, like Luke has been targeted 10 times. He's caught 70% of his throws. His numbers don't really come out. They don't look great when you just look at PFF numbers, but those are the grades when I'm talking about the grades. But again, he's been targeted 10 times. He's caught 70% of those throws for 93 yards. That's not bad for a tight end to have 93 yards off 7 grabs. That's not bad at all. But again, Centenia, 16 of 24 is what he's caught. 66%, almost 67% reception percentage. That's how often he's catching these throws. Tesla has been targeted 11 times, and he has caught 9 of 11. For 205 yards and a touchdown. Yards per reception is almost 23 yards per reception. His drop grade, also good, 80.1. And really the point that I probably could also make if I wanted to, and I didn't really want to, but we will have to talk about it. Broden is the 2nd most targeted receiver. For some reason off the top of my head, I thought it might be Centenia. No, it's Broden by 4. He's been targeted 28 times. Would you like to guess? Well, you ought to know. You know his numbers. You'll know how many of those he's caught. He's caught 8 out of 28, making his receiving percentage at 28.6 for 116 yards. His drop grade is, and this is why I think there is something to the formula of what PFF does, 15.2. You can't – I'm sorry, bro. I loved the way he looked through spring and fall camp. I thought what we saw might actually translate onto the field because last year it was injuries that were kind of holding him back. And then by the time he got healthy, the offense had already kind of collapsed within itself like a dying star. And it just kind of felt like everybody was failing. Broden, though, 28% of his catches off 28 targets. Tesla and Centenia need to be a bigger part of the offense. And the reason why I say Tesla is because he's finally kind of putting his game together. I think he's got a pretty good ceiling. I don't know really how high it is because, he came from a small school and you really never know about these guys. But when you look at what he did last year, he caught 34 passes for 351 yards, 2 touchdowns. 351 yards. He's already caught 205 yards, and we still got a hell of a lot of season left to go. I feel like he's starting to warm up. He's catching damn near everything that's thrown to him. Who was that? Was that UAB or Auburn? He had a game where the defender was just holding the hell out of him, grabbing his jersey. There was a flag thrown. It hit his hands, and he damn near caught the ball. And it was actually pretty impressive on an almost catch, if there is such a thing. I think he's starting to come along. I think he's starting to heat up. And again, it's not as if Centenia has never been targeted. He's the 3rd most targeted player at 24. Andrew Armstrong, You could argue, as much as I'm a big Andrew Armstrong guy, it's very clear that Green is targeting Armstrong a lot. It's his safety net. 47 targets. And he's still catching almost 62% of those. 47 targets, that's pretty good, right? Again, his PFF numbers don't lie. And again, the number 60, almost 62%, that doesn't lie. He's averaging almost 15 yards per reception. It's time for him to get a touchdown, damn it. Everyone else has scored except him. But he's got, again, 420 yards. Like, that doesn't lie. He's catching what's being thrown to him. That's what's important. But Broden is getting too many targets. We've complained about this a number of times. Now we're seeing the proof in the pudding. Not just the eyeball test, but also looking at the actual analytics. But I think TeSlaa, 9 of 11, 82%, 205 yards. By the way, that's 35 yards less than Santana on how many fewer targets. TeSlaa starting to look like he should be wide receiver 2. He should maybe be the second most targeted guy. Now, obviously, that's all depending on matchups, right? And if Santana has been open, he's not been targeted. He has been underthrown. He has been overthrown. And again, these numbers are not all a reflection of just the receivers. It's also Green overthrowing and underthrowing and all that. But I sure would like to see TeSlaa in the picture more. He's doing it. He's starting to tear it up, guys. Starting to warm up a little bit. Armstrong is a beast, for sure. Obviously, yep. Trips mesh with a drag route with TeSlaa. Get Armstrong on a deep comeback, and get Broden on a deep. And running back will. Ty Brennan's been playing EA college football, I think. I don't know, Ty, I don't know that Broden should be on the field. I mean, if I'm being honest. YouTube Studio just crashed. Hang on. There it goes. Open back up. Also note, TeSlaa's only 2 missed passes were both called for pass interference. Says Azazian on absurdity. I know one was. I didn't know that the other one was. Armstrong is amazing. I agree with that. He's been fire. I mean, that many targets, almost 50 targets, and he's catching 62% of the time. That's pretty good. And again, he's caught 29 of those. All right, Arkansas and Tennessee. Where are we at on this poll? Hogs cover the 13.5 point spread. Now, I'm a little bit surprised. 52% of you say yes. 52% of you say yes. I'm a little surprised by that. I'm not going to lie. So 48% of you say no. Mighty, mighty, mighty Tennessee. They're good. They're really good. I would dare say this might be the best offense you play all year. Ole Miss is good, but I think they got a little exposed. Now, to be fair, they got popped in the mouth by Kentucky. Kentucky's going to do that to a lot of teams. Kentucky's a really good defensive football team. I don't know that anyone's going to do that again to Ole Miss. Who knows? Maybe they just got completely exposed. They got peeled like a bad onion. Maybe that's what happened because they got them cheeks clapped, son. I'm on Twitter too much. They got smoked. Is Tennessee Ole Miss 2.0? Because, and I don't mean on their offense. I mean their defense. Their defense is at the top of so many categories, I'm not even going to list them all. But they're up there in nearly, you name a category, they're top 5, top 10, top 20 in nearly every defensive category. There's something about Tennessee that's a little fishy. Now, I probably should have told some of you, maybe hold off on your voting until after you hear me talk about Tennessee. Let's start with their offense first before we get into their defense. I think their offense is legit. They've played 4 games, and they lead damn near every category. And that's after playing Oklahoma. That's after playing 2 P3 schools. I don't say P4. I'm sorry. I will not acknowledge Big 12 as a part of that. They're just not. Go away. Tennessee, third down offense. They're converting nearly 40 or right over 49%. They're 31 of 63 on third downs. That's pretty good. Top 20. That's 22nd in the country. That's pretty good. They're just ahead of USC. Passing offense, they're 33rd. However, their Passing efficiency is a little bit higher, but they're 33rd in the country. They're averaging 276 yards per game, 9 passing touchdowns, 1,103 passing yards. Three interceptions on the year, 14 yards per reception. Rushing offense. This is where, I mean, guys, this is the purest form of the veer and shoot offense. This is as close to the Art Briles Baylor form of this offense as you can get. They love to split their wide receivers out, and I know you guys, there's so many, there's 100 damn people that cover all these teams, and I know you probably saw people covering Arkansas's mistakes and then talking about Arkansas' strengths, and it has you a little bit concerned. But Tennessee, that running offense has been legit. It's been good. They have 1,100 yards on the ground already, averaging almost 6 yards a carry. And again, this is after playing Oklahoma, who is a really good defense. I don't think they're an elite defense. I would say Alabama, Georgia, Kentucky, and probably Tennessee are ahead of them. But it's not like a huge gap, right? Like Ole Miss is kind of in that mix somewhere. But Tennessee, 290 yards a game. Boy, that sounds awfully familiar, doesn't it? It's kind of like what Kendall did when he was at Arkansas running his veer and shoot. Again, total offense through 4 games. They're the number 1 offense through any team that's played 4 games. 310 plays, 2,200, almost 2,300 yards, 24 total offensive touchdowns, 565 points or yards per game, excuse me. They're outscoring opponents in the opening quarter. I don't even know. It's like 5,000 to 3. It's insane how quick they get off. Red zone offense, they're about 36. They're not S tier, right? We talk about S tier. That's above A status, right? But they're pretty good. They're 36th in the country here. They're scoring about 92% of the time, and that's 6 passing red zone touchdowns. That's 9 red zone rushing touchdowns, but 7 field goals. So they've been held to field goals quite a bit inside the red zone. 22 total red zone scores. And then there's scoring offense. Number 1 in the country. And again, I'm going to say it one last time. That's after just playing 4 games. Everyone else on this list outside of Ohio State is, when you're talking about the top 4 offenses here in this category, everyone else is 5. Miami and Indiana, and I forgot who number 5 actually is if we go further back. Ohio State's been pretty good too. But, yeah, Tennessee, 54 points. They have 10 field goals on the year, by the way. They have been forced to kick some field goals. Wow. Ty, there's no way. There's no way, guys. Arkansas, no, they're not going to cover 13.5-point spread. They're not going to do it. Look how great their offense is. Not so fast, my friend. Tennessee's opponents right now have a combined record of 8-11. Chattanooga's currently 1-3. NC State, who is piss poor on offense. Nico threw 2 picks in that game. He got pressured a little bit. They're 3-2. That's pretty good. Who have they beaten? Kent State is 0-5. Oklahoma's about the only exception here at 4-1. Nico fumbled in that game 2 times. Oklahoma, we're talking about their defensive side of the ball when we're talking about Tennessee. Let's point something out. Who the hell have they played on offense? Like a good offensive football team. The only 2 P3 schools they played, Oklahoma is almost, I think they're dead last in the SEC in total offense. NC State is 1 spot ahead of Florida State in total offense. You're talking about 2 teams offensively who are ranked, they're in the 100s. At this point in the season, that kind of matters. We're getting to that point where these numbers start to matter. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, whatever. Now we're further out now. Arkansas's opponents are not much better, and I agree with that. UAPB is currently 1-3. Oklahoma State, who's fraudulent. It's almost like someone called that. 3-2. UAB's 1-3. Auburn's 2-3, who also looks piss poor. A&M's 4-1. I would take A&M to beat Oklahoma. Or I would take A&M 9 times out of 10. Is that what we're supposed to say now? Isn't that the So I don't feel like Oklahoma has played a single decent offense. Their numbers They really could defensively, not offense, defensively could be Ole Miss level fraudulent. I don't think they've played anybody. I really don't. Again, NC State, here it is. NC State's national rank is 109th in total offense, 326 yards per game. Guys, that's horrible. Oklahoma's even worse, 122nd in total offense at 297 yards. They haven't played anybody, period. Not in terms of like good offenses. Arkansas will be the best offense they've played so far. Now, can Arkansas stay the hell out of their own way? That's going to be the question. Does Tennessee key in on what Trent Dilfer found that was a weakness that's the kryptonite to Arkansas's offense? So far, it's worked pretty well. Cover zero, get aggressive, get in their face. Does that work out for them? Can they do that? They are absolutely they have the talent to do that. And again, I'm not trying to trash their defense. I'm really not. I think their defense is good. My point is, and no, they're not. I don't think they're Ole Miss 2.0 when we're comparing what Ole Miss's offense was touted as versus what happened against Kentucky where they get exposed a little bit. I'm simply saying, could this be the case? I think Tennessee overall is a better, more well-rounded team than Ole Miss is. This is going to be a fascinating battle. This is going to be a very interesting battle. But here's something that stood out to me. Another thing. And I pointed this out in the Enemy Insider. And if you haven't already, you need to go read it. I think there's some good stuff in there for you. By the way, Tennessee talent-wise, not that far ahead of Arkansas. Total talent, they're 17th in the country. Arkansas's 26th. We're not talking about – this is why I always say, like, people prop Tennessee up to be like this elite. Like, oh, look at the talent. I think we have this mental image of what Tennessee was in the late 90s or early 2000s and just believe that they've got a top 5 roster. No, they don't. In fact, Arkansas's kind of had Tennessee's number, not in terms of talent, but in terms of product on the field and beating Tennessee. Arkansas's done pretty well. Something that stands out a little bit, under pressure, and I'm not – are we going to try and pronounce this guy's name? I have it spelled out. I was practicing it the other day. Again, it's in my notes. Imaliava. Am I pronouncing that right? I'm fully expecting it. I'm just going to call him Nico, but then someone might, I don't know, someone who just hops in the middle of the conversation. What are you talking about? Nico Davier. What are you talking about? No. We're talking about Tennessee's quarterback, Nico Imaliava. I think I'm saying that right. Something that stands out about him. And listen, this isn't unheard of, but this guy's pressure numbers are bad. They're not very good. I'm trying to pull them up, and I thought I had them. So Taylor Greens are not very good either. We know that as a decision maker, he's not having a very good year there. I'm going to pull this up. For whatever reason, the link that I had is not wanting to pull up, and I'm going to try another one. But he is certainly, like I said, he fumbled twice against Oklahoma, and I believe Oklahoma recovered both of them. He threw a couple of picks against NC State. And he looks, and if you watch him, he gets shook when there's pressure in his face. Now, of course, the question is, can Arkansas get better in that category? Are they getting better? Are they able to actually rush the quarterback a little more? His under pressure numbers are 36%. Now, again, he's only pressured 23% of the time on his dropbacks. We don't know if, and sometimes, like, what does that mean really? Is some of those rollouts and maybe someone got near him and we counted that as a rush? I don't know, but I think these numbers are pretty on par. When you look at like Taylor Green's numbers, they seem to be pretty on par with what I've seen. So I'm going to assume this is just straight up him dropping back. He's under pressure about 23% of the time. That's not very often. His clean pocket percentage, almost 77%. His number's really good there, 83.0. But he grades out on PFF under pressure at 33.6. His pass grades out at 29.6. He struggles here mightily. He's not thrown a single touchdown under pressure. He has thrown picks. When blitzed, he's only completing 57% of his throws. Now, he has thrown 3 touchdowns here, but he's also thrown an interception. They like to run play action. They're about 66%. It is again, it is the veer and shoot as well, so keep that in mind. 71% of the time out of play, or excuse me, 71 of his dropbacks, 66% of the time they're running play action. They're running, they're at 22 screens, which is, that's 6, 12, 8. That's about 5-6 times a game. They're running, they're throwing screens. His deep ball number is pretty nice. He's completed 6 of 15 on anything which is 20 plus yards. He's thrown for 6 of 15 for 302 yards and a touchdown. His deep ball is very nice. This kid is a redshirt freshman. His medium throwing, he's 11 of 20. His short throws, this is kind of where he doesn't grade well for some reason, but he is 78%. But his medium throws, he's completing, which is 10 to 19 yards, he's completing 55%. So there is a little chink in the armor. There is there is some wiggle room here. Under the lights, against Sam Pittman, I don't know if that matters. Bobby Petrino, under the lights with this offense, it shouldn't be as simple as what we've seen defenses be able to do to Arkansas's offense. And to be fair, we have seen them put together some nice drives since playing Oklahoma State, since playing UAB. We have seen them put together a pretty good fight. You saw the way that A&M game started. It looked like, here we go. It's about maintaining consistency and limiting your mistakes. I thought that last game, I felt like they're going to run the hell out of the ball. And they didn't. Now, again, to be fair, Jaquindon was dealing with cramps. They had some issues with injuries, guys getting a little banged up as the game went on, and they had to abandon the run. And again, some of that is, I feel like they just run these scripted plays throughout the first quarter. And then once they run out of those, once they come out of the scripted part of the offense, and maybe they don't. I don't know. I don't know if Pittman's talked about that. I would love to know how much of the opening quarters are scripted. But they can't get out of their own damn way. We know this. This is Arkansas. This is Sam Pittman 101. His teams always find a way to just mess up, whether it's special teams, whether with too many men on the field, guys running out, having to use timeouts, clock management, game management, using a timeout for the fake field goal that obviously was going to happen, that A&M saw. They read it like an open book. There's just things about these Sam Pittman coach teams that are bizarre, and they just can't get out of their own way. Having saying that, is anybody in chat picking Arkansas to not only cover the spread? Is anybody in chat, and I mean for anybody watching this after the fact, is anyone taking Arkansas? I want to know. Please let me know. WooPig00 says upset alert. 7 of the last 12 seasons, we have had a losing record. Unbiased, you keep talking about. Hold on. You keep talking about PTSD. What are you going on about? Are you letting that negativity creep in? Listen, you said that I was suffering from that PTSD. I should have made this a call-in, huh? Appreciate everyone. By the way, shout out to Arkansas Sports Network streaming the live show on over there. Patrick Smith says it feels like a toss-up. WooPig00 says it's upset alert. Now, I don't know if that's him actually picking. Since 2012, Arkansas Razorback football team has went 63 and 89. That sounds right. Battered hog syndrome. There you go. Ty Brandon says, yes, I'm picking Arkansas. Jeremiah says, no one knows anything about Tennessee. I would argue we know their offense is pretty damn good. I mean, through 4 games versus 2 P3 schools, even though I think NC State is – I just don't – they had no business being ranked. Oklahoma, man, they're starting to look more and more like a 6-6 team. I really thought they'd be like an 8-win, maybe a 9-win team. Hogwild Niner guy says, hell no, I have no faith in a Pittman-led team. Now, to be fair, Arkansas, I would say, played their worst game against Auburn and still won that game by 10 points. A&M, it wasn't much prettier, right? We know that they struggled. They couldn't get out of their own way, man. Bot Magnet says, Shitman got to go. Hey, for anyone coming in late, did you see the chain? Oh my God, this thing is a beast. Oh. That's right, baby. Oh, look at this thing. This is so cool. God, it's so heavy. Definitely won't be able to wrap this thing around a microphone. I would try to pin it up here, but it's just too heavy. I mean, it shakes that. Oklahoma is a 7-8 win team. I agree, Brim. I do. I agree. That's some masterpiece stuff right there. Yes, sir. Hey, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Also, don't forget, support your boy. Support your boy. I've been nominated in 2 categories for best. I don't really call this a podcast. It's just a live show, but it's still cool. I've been nominated in 2 categories. There's 2 categories. You got to scroll down. It's best sports pod and best male hosted podcast or something. Best male hosted. There's a ton of podcasts in Arkansas, but this is for, let's scroll up. This is for the RCast Awards, Arkansas Podcast Festival 2024. I think they're going to announce the winners in November. Yeah, November 14th. It'll be in Fayetteville. Please select it. All you do, fill out your name, your email, and then just make sure you hit the confirm down below. That's right, your boy, nominated in 2 categories. Show some support. JV's Hangout says, if we could force Tennessee into making 5 turnovers like we did against Auburn, maybe we can barely win again, or almost win, because we almost every time almost win. Mike and them says, vote, Tusk Talk with Ty, most goodest sports talk thingy. There you go. That's it. Biggest pimp. Yeah, where's the biggest pimp category? Jeremiah says, a odds maker said if Arkansas Pine Bluff played Kent State. Wait. Arkansas Pine Bluff played Kent State. Pine Bluff would be favored by 6. They look good on paper, but they are about to get punched in the mouth. Jeremiah, you're making the case that Arkansas wins this game. I hope you're right. I mean, I really do. I hope you're right. I am with you guys. I think Arkansas covers the 13.5 point spread. I don't think Arkansas wins this game. I don't have a score because I don't even – this is a tough one for a lot of different reasons. You know, again, it's in Fayetteville. This does feel like a pretty important game for Sam. It does have that feeling of if he wins this, he's not going anywhere. Because if you win this game, by God, you're going to win some more games you're not supposed to win. If you're good enough to beat Tennessee, then you ought to be good enough to beat LSU on the road at Starkville. Ole Miss could be a toss-up. Still don't like your odds against Texas. Louisiana Tech, and then we'll see what Mizzou's up to by the time you got to go to Columbia. It does have that feeling. And that's I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I was in a conversation with someone earlier today. I said I damn near want to pick Arkansas for the upset. I just can't. And it's because this is still, and I hate to say this team is it's still what we've seen for the last 2 years. Right? Now, I would argue last year's team would not have gone on the road and beat Auburn. I do think they are better. It just comes down to this clock management, this game management. Special teams feels like it's better, yet they're still making mistakes. They're still catching flags just about every week. God bless. They're like a bad, good football team, if that makes sense. They're like, you feel like they should be so much better. And I keep hearing people say, oh, you're just a couple plays or a couple injuries away from being undefeated. And that's fair. That's fair. But that's the whole point, right? That's why we play the games on the field. Woulda, coulda, shoulda doesn't mean anything. A loss means everything, and that's what has happened. You have found ways to lose these games. It's about faith in the coaching staff. It's about faith in Sam Pittman as the head coach. And he's just not giving me any reason for the last 2 years, even though, Bobby, I do think the offense is better. He's just not giving me any reason to believe in them in this type of game. By the way, they haven't played so great at home. They haven't. Now, this will be under the lights. If Fayetteville had any electricity left, if Arkansas was maybe a one-loss team right now, or if they had won those games that they were in position to win, A&M and Oklahoma State, and they were undefeated, Arkansas's ranked, oh my God, Fayetteville would be lit. Fayetteville would be wild. And then maybe, obviously, you're thinking the other way probably. I probably would have taken Arkansas. But those two games and the fact that what transpired against Auburn, you could have lost that game, but not really. I don't buy for a second that Arkansas would have lost 9 of those next 9 games, according to Hugh Freeze. I don't buy that. But they also made some big mistakes. You had that big run that got, big run that ended up with a fumble recovery in Arkansas's favor. But if they play clean football, and even then, you feel like you got to play damn near perfect to beat Tennessee. This could be the best team, best offensive team, and it might even be the best, most balanced team that you have left. Now, Texas will certainly have something to say about that. We'll see about Ole Miss if they get things kind of fixed. God, they look fraudulent. They looked fraudulent, but that's one game, right, against Kentucky, who's a really good defense. But I'm taking Tennessee. But I think Arkansas – I agree with you guys. I think Arkansas covers the 13.5-point spread. I could be wrong. Tennessee can open up the biggest can of whoop ass. They feel like they might have something to prove. Who knows? Green's going to outshine Nico. Nico's been pretty fantastic. But, again, against P3 schools, he has turned the ball over 4 times. Green is worse than KJ, and our O-line is better this year. That's crazy. Boy, I just – Green is – if he could clean up these mistakes and actually hit his targets in stride, you'd feel so much better, and that is kind of the other part of this, right? My new name is Turnovers Brim. Nico fumbles and throws a pick, says Ty Brennan. Jeremiah says, we are hungry. There is something to be said about for Sam. You feel like if he can get this win, it takes so much off his shoulders, and he knows that. He knows that. So maybe this week's preparation's better. I don't know. Just about anything can happen in this game. The only outcome I would not see coming is Arkansas winning this game big, right? 14, 17, 20-point win. I wouldn't see that, but I could see Tennessee winning by a little. I could see Arkansas winning by a little, but it's got to be more than 7 points, right? It's like 9 or 10 points. Like maybe some late Tennessee mistakes or something. Ty Dolla, Ty Money. I'm going to take pictures of this thing and put it in Discord for you guys. I mean, this thing is awesome. That thing is too cool. We better score 35. We better score 35 or more is all I'm going to say. I hope so. What a debut that would be for this new chain, wouldn't it? What a debut. All right. Again, I appreciate you guys. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead. Not just for sponsoring this show, but for that awesome gold chain back there that I've shown off. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results. 501-244-3667. They got your back. Check out the link provided for you down below. We've got pictures of some of their work, including yours truly. My front garage door is in Discord. You can check it out. See what awesome door I have. I love my garage door. It's pretty cool. Again, take the ball. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time here. Defense got to hold the line, not make mistakes. So that's the other thing about Tennessee too. Their defensive front, they are legitimately deep. They can rotate for days. They are deep along the defensive line. They are deep. Quality depth matters, and they've got it on the defensive line. This is going to be a game. I mean, again, these guys are going to run the hell out of the football. They're going to run it at you. They average 49. It's around 49 carries a game. Your depth is about to really get tested. It's like every week you get an upgrade that you're playing against at running back. Let me read you a little something in the Enemy Insider on the Vols offense. I watched them play Oklahoma a little bit, watched that game, and something that kind of stood out. The Sooners did kind of clamp down on Tennessee's run game a little bit. Sooner safeties were playing way up nearly all night. To some degree, it worked. Nico did complete 2 of 4 deep throws, 20-plus yard throws for 108 yards and a tutty buddy. But why were OU safeties moved up so much? Because Tennessee ran the ball 52 times, but only 151 yards. That's 3 yards per carry. You could argue that OU's game plan was the right approach, but their offense gave them little help or cushion. They did hold Dylan Sampson, who is an absolute stud, to just 3.8 yards per carry. That's a win in and of itself. But back to Nico, there is much to like about there is much like a lot of quarterbacks at this level, a weakness to this young quarterback's game. He does at times to appear to struggle through multiple reads, and he struggles mightily when pressured. And again, we already talked about all that, him being held at 36%. But the Tennessee going on down to the Vol skill position, this Tennessee run game is impressive. They run the absolute hell out of the ball. 197 attempts this year for 1,160 yards. That's almost 6 yards per carry. 15 touchdowns through 4 games. Dylan Sampson has been the workhorse, 449 yards off 69 carries and 10 touchdowns. They very well could have one of the best stable of backs in the SEC, maybe one of the better ones in all of college football. Time will tell. They've also got Deshaun Bishop. They got another freshman back in Peyton Lewis. They've got it back there, man. They can throw some running backs at you. You're going to get tested up front. I feel like if you can consistently, if they can build off of what the pass rush was last week, again, he doesn't get pressured a lot, not based on numbers. Not that I've watched Tennessee play a lot this year. He works with a clean pocket, but if you could somehow, God, imagine if you could apply pressure just rushing 4. Imagine if you could apply some pressure just rushing 4 guys. It could really cause some issues with this Tennessee offense. However, we've not seen them really stutter a whole lot. Oklahoma kind of had them on the ropes for a little bit at times. Again, forcing 2 fumbles. Nico has turned the ball over. They're not impervious. They're not perfect. If Arkansas can play to their weaknesses and get pressure, I just don't know that they can do that. We've not seen them consistently do that. Again, it's these little areas where you feel like, oh, Arkansas can have an advantage here. They don't, not with the pass rush. I'm not saying they won't get to him. Again, maybe they're going to build off what they did against A&M. We finally kind of started to see Landon Jackson turn into his old self, where he's at least somewhat relevant in a game. He's done pretty good against the run. Actually, he grades out really well against the run. Someone had said PFF put him in their first round, and I hadn't had time to actually look into that, but I want to. Was it their big board? Oh, I think it is their big board. Let me scroll down. They got Luther Burden. Boy, if y'all watched Boise State's running back, Genty, that dude is crushing it. They have him in the 10th overall pick. Let me scroll down here. I know I'd heard Landon Jackson made their cut in the first round. I don't see him. Hold on. Page 2. Harold Perkins, who's going to set out. They got him at 27. Yeah, he must have dropped because he's not there anymore. Or someone was full of shit. Okay, they've got him all the way back as a 38th overall ranked player. So this isn't a draft board, is it? Draft Guide 2024, Big Board 2025. This is just their big board. So they do have him as a top 40 player in all of college football. They have him at 38th. Ahead of Ollie Gordon, who's 39th. Fraudulent. I don't know that I see anywhere about a draft. I swear, I thought I heard it on Chuck and Bo show. Someone said that he was on their – they had a draft. I don't know. I'm not seeing it. Anyways, maybe we'll look into that this weekend. All right. Greenwood have to have his best game to even compete in this game. You might be onto something there. Hey, I appreciate all the super chat. You guys are awesome. Again, please make sure you go check out the RCast Podcasters Awards list. I'll share that link again. There it is if you want to go vote for your boy. I'm in 2 separate categories. Best Sports Podcast and Best Male-Hosted Podcast. I'm not sure I've ever been up for any. I don't think I have. I think that's a first for any award. That's pretty cool. I think that was Tim Neal's doing. So shout out to Tim. Here's Patreon if you guys want to show a little love and support Tusk Talk with Ty on Patreon. Angel says Mel Kiper. What about him? What, did he have a list? Does he have, is his out yet? Yeah, this would be about the time when he has his out. I swear they said it was PFF. I don't see it on ESPN. That's going to drive me crazy now. Could just always Google, right? All right, well, that will do it. Again, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. For all of you who are watching after the fact, let me know if you think Arkansas covers that 13.5-point spread that it is tonight, Thursday night. I don't know if it's going to drop on Friday, but there it is, 13.5-point spread. 53% of you say yes. I do agree with that. You know, if it's a 7 points or less game, you feel even less confident, right? Which it could very well be. Who knows? All right. Go donate to Edge. Hey, if you want Sam out, you need to pump up that NIL. You need to pump it up, baby. There's only one way to do that. Go throw some cash at NIL, I suppose. All right. Bye week might be bye-bye week for Pittman. I'm telling you, if they lose these next 2, it's going to come down 100%. I think it comes down to Mississippi State. If you lose to Tennessee, especially if it's a blowout to Tennessee, if it's a loss to LSU, and then you lose on the road to Mississippi State, by God, I think getting ready for Ole Miss, you might have your Pittman may not be there for that. I don't know. Because if you can't win these games, you're riding a losing streak. That'd be a 4-game losing streak. Losing 4 out of 5 SEC games. I don't know how he survives that. I don't know. All right, that is it. I'll see you guys for the postgame. Hopefully, oh my gosh. Hopefully this bad boy, someone gets this. Hopefully someone, I get to wear this on somebody's behalf. Some Razorback. Golly. I thought I was going to fall. Hopefully someone, I get to wear that on someone's behalf. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. What a debut for the player of the game, Gold Chain, here on the Tusk Talk with Ty. The best post-game show around, period. All right, that's it. I'll see you on Saturday night. Oh, wait, someone asked me a question on Facebook. Hang on, I'm sorry. Jason Bell, hey, Ty, if Arkansas upsets Tennessee at home, I'll be as happy as a clam. Hey, yeah, you and me both, buddy. Absolutely. Me and you both. All right, that's it. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Enjoy your Friday, and we'll be here to cover what happens. All right, we'll see you then.
No.